Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It's been a little bit, I know, but I'm pretty sure this is where we last left off. I say pretty sure because I guess I forgot to save during the last time, so I had to get back to this point. But yeah, I do remember pretty well that the judge here, or TGAAC, was trying to pin the blame on Prosecutor Asogi after all this time. Even though he admitted to moving the body, he still doesn't want to admit to being a murderer. And honestly, like I said before, I do think it's a pretty clever last-ditch effort. Even though I, as a player, know that realistically Kazuma didn't do it at this point. He does make for a pretty good red herring because his actions, like I said before, are really suspicious and weird. And I still want some further elaboration on what went down because I feel like we haven't gotten like 100% of the story yet. Because I don't think we've learned why the trunk that Gregson had has a big katana mark on it, or a slash mark on it. I feel like clearly something went down between Gregson and Kazuma. I don't think Kazuma just casually left after planning to do an assassination and then saying, nah, I don't really feel like it actually. So yeah, I feel like there's more to that, but like that, I think we can prove, we can say definitively that yeah, Asogi was not the one who killed Gregson, even though he was very suspicious, and I can definitely see him. Like I said, he makes a pretty good red herring. So good on TGAAC for going for a pretty clever last-ditch effort. But we're gonna see right through it. Also, I am curious what would happen if I did say it was possible, but I only have one heart left, or one badge left, I guess. So yeah, not doing that. Anyway, yeah, impossible. I don't believe it. And I'm sure perhaps Ryunosuke will explain why exactly it's impossible, because I'm not exactly sure why it's impossible, because, well, again, I'm sure Ryunosuke will explain it. And hopefully I don't have to present anything. Anyway. TGAAC, let me remind you of something that you said only a few minutes ago. You claimed that logical reasoning is the future of the judicial process. It is. No question. Well, logical reasoning can prove something here. Namely, that it would have been impossible for Prosecutor Asogi to commit the crime. Oh yeah, I'm getting that, good pursuit theme. What? Girl? Oh, wait, no, we are gonna have to present something. Fuck. Oh god. Oh god, oh fuck, what am I gonna do, man? The court will only accept an argument that is supported by compelling evidence. So present what you have, counsel. What proof is there that allegedly demonstrates the impossibility of Prosecutor Asogi's involvement? Also, I probably should have saved here last time, because yeah, this would have, been more climactic. But okay, let's review the evidence once more with feeling. Thankfully, if we die or get found guilty, they don't set you back that far. But yeah, we got a telegram. Don't think that's relevant. The small component of Inspector Gregson's pocket watch, I don't think is important. Let me double check this. Okay, yeah, that's the thing saying that the crew was doing their duties for evacuation drills, which showed that he did have the time to, do the murder. The sword, the great sword, which is actually a long sword, I feel like this definitely could be relevant because it's Kazuma's sword and all that, but I'm not sure how yet. Because like I said, if anything, yeah, we did point out that a piece of the sword was missing, which would indicate that it was used at some point, which would be this, I assume. Let's see. We got the charm, probably not relevant. Clint's autopsy report, probably not relevant. Passport, maybe? The Asogi papers, probably not relevant. The photograph, ID, pocket watch. That's probably not relevant. Yeah, I don't think any of this stuff is relevant. I think. Yeah, okay, thinking about it logically, through process of elimination, I want to say that it's probably either going to be the trunk or his sword, because like those are really the only two things, you know, that was relevant that to Kazuma specifically. The rest of the stuff does not really apply to him, I don't think. So, the sword or the trunk? The sword or the trunk? It's the fucking chicken or the egg of our time. Eh, fuck it. I'm gonna throw the sword out, and if I die, then I die, and then I'll probably do the trunk. But if both those options are wrong, then I'll be back at square one.
Take that!
Take the sword, you dumb bitch. Ugh. You're making the evidence weep here, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Sorry. Every piece of evidence has a role to play in arriving at the truth. They're not playthings you can toss around the courtroom for entertainment. Well, you know what? Fuck you, Kazuma. I'm trying to cover your ass here, buddy. And here you are, fucking me in the ass. Yeah, okay, yeah. Also, yeah, I like how we've done all this. This is something that applies to any case in the game. Whenever you like get to a certain, whenever you like to the near the end of the case and you fuck up and you die, like, you know, at this point it's abundantly clear that Barack could not have killed Gregson because he wasn't even on the fucking boat when it happened. But because I fucked up, Van Zieks is the one who's gonna have to take the fall, which is just, you know, unfortunate for him. But again, by the end of most cases, like, we've basically proven that the person who was originally accused, you know, literally could not have done it physically, but, you know, they're not going to, like, adjust the dialogue at that point. So, yeah. It's funny just to see it apply here, because, again, Brock wasn't even, like, I don't think he was on the fucking boat when this went down, even though we've already proven that the murder took place over there, and not in Fresno Street. But, yeah. Yada yada. You acted out of sense of justice nonetheless, and paid to reach this conclusion. Wait, my lord, blah blah blah. Yeah. Wait. Okay, okay. Now that's just illogical. I mean, the whole shooting flames back into the fucking, backwards like that is completely silly regardless, but, like, there wasn't even anyone to do the big punchy thing. He just swung his gavel, and then they just magically flew backwards. Okay, that's just... whatever. Guilty. Yeah. Sorry, Barack, I screwed the pooch on this one. Wait, retry from the start of the current scene. I'm pretty sure that's going to throw me back, like, here, right? Yeah, see? Yeah, thankfully this game is pretty forgiving in terms of where it brings you back to, so you actually don't have to constantly save. But anyway, so yeah, it's not the sword apparently, which means it must be the trunk.
Take that!
God fucking damn it! Wait, what did I say? Oh, never mind the evidence. You're about to make me weep, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, I can't upset Suzaku-san, or I'll end up being upset too. We know a member of the crew was on sentry duty outside the first-class cabins nearly all the time, so as long as a guard was there, it would have been impossible to fire a shot without it being heard, and that very much narrows down when the crime could have been committed. Oh, okay, well that kind of clears things up. Thanks, Ryunosuke. It was the evacuation drill, which, yeah, it was specifically at 10 p.m., and I guess we're going to argue that Kazuma couldn't have been there because he left, apparently. Even though we really only have his word that he left to begin with. So, I don't know if that's super reliable, but yeah. Sure, evacuation drill.
Take that!
Obviously, I totally knew that. I'm such a fucking smart genius. This itinerary for crew members of the SS Grouse, my lord. This is conclusive proof. An itinerary? How does that prove anything? Judge Shigoko, the moment you acknowledge that you found the victim's body in your cabin, this itinerary suddenly became much more significant. What? Why? On the night in question, as always, a crewman sentry was on guard outside your cabin door. As long as he was there, nobody could have fired a shot inside the cabin. Absolutely. Because it's inconceivable that the guard wouldn't hurry and come to investigate. So that tells us that the crime must have taken place when the guard was elsewhere. And that narrows it down to the 20 minutes just after 10 o'clock, as indicated on the itinerary. Yes, I see no flaw in your reasoning so far. But the crucial point is this. When the evacuation drill took place, the steamship had already put to sea from the port of Dunkirk. Ah. Now, clearly the murder could only have been committed by somebody who was aboard the vessel at the time. But Prosecutor Sogi stated in yesterday's proceedings, I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. Which I'm sure the court will agree is conclusive proof that Cosimo Sogi couldn't possibly have carried out the killing. Well, again, that's just his word, right? Like, I don't know, like, if he, again, obviously I believe him, but, like, I don't know if I call it conclusive evidence. Then again, I'm sure they could probably, like, check the records of who was on board the ship and who left the ship and so and whatnot. Hold it. No, absolutely not. I don't accept that at all. What do you mean? The boy's just saying that to exonerate himself. We can't trust that he really disembarked the vessel. Oh, see, look, Joker's brought it up as well. We're of like mind, he and I. Obviously, after he left my cabin, he hid himself somewhere nearby on the ship. Just waiting for his chance to come back and... Oh, fuck. Just waiting for his chance to come back and finish the... Yeah. No, that's out of the question. Isn't it, Cosima? As the defense rightly recalls, I disembarked the vessel and spent the night in a boarding house in Dunkirk. And as I said yesterday, I signed my name in the accommodations registered book. Oh. Okay. I didn't remember that part, to be honest. Yeah, I figured obviously there would be some, physical proof, but still. All extremely easy to verify, and undeniable proof. No, There's no escape this time. You can forget that you're a judge or a government minister. It's time you gave the court an honest answer, as a common man. Grrr. You killed Inspector Tobias Gregson and transported his corpse back to Britain, and then you put a red wig on his head for some reason. Please explain that as well. Then you dumped the body in the room on Fresno Street, and you made it look as if the murder had happened there. That's what really happened, isn't it, Shishiro Jikoku? Oh, it was that damn trial 10 years ago. That's when all this... Oh, Jesus Christ. Looking back now, my fate was decided that day. I was doomed already. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Are you gonna, like, fucking go Super Saiyan? Jesus, calm down. Oh. Jesus Christ, dude. Bro, are you fucking superhuman? Are you the fucking Incredible Hulk? It's over. My life is over. Bro, excuse me? Hey, no. You just fucking destroyed the whole ass fucking Christ, dude. A British assassin to eliminate a professor in Japan. A Japanese assassin to eliminate a detective in Britain. Both assassins will use diplomatic immunity to evade conviction and return safely to their homelands. The assassin exchange request arrived from Britain about 1 year ago. Though, it was hardly a request. It was a demand. And for that, you decided to recruit Mr. Asogi. But things didn't go according to plan. Your chosen assassin never made it to Britain. And you found yourself unable to dispatch a replacement. Because I was already on my way to Britain at the time in Cosmo's place. Yeah, and no one told fucking Ryunosuke about the assassination plan, that's for sure. He's seen him with that whole, like, first game being like, having multiple people be like, so, are you here to do everything that Cosmo was here to do? And Ryunosuke was just like, fucking completely naive, like, oh yeah, totally, I'm gonna fucking reform the legal system and whatnot, yada yada. He was just a completely unknowing, well, not even a pawn, because he was too stupid, or he didn't know about it to begin with, but yeah. And that left me with only one option for carrying out my obligation. To eliminate the mark myself. Personally. Of course, there was but a single opportunity for me to do that. The International Forensic Science Symposium, I presume. That's right. I decided it would be safest to carry out the plan for my arrival in Britain. So I enlisted the help of my British counterpart and made arrangements for a pretext that would take the inspector to Dunkirk. To lure the man in, he was given a sham mission by the Reaper. What? What? The Reaper? There's only one person who could have done that. The mastermind of the entire operation. The Reaper himself. Ah. So, that means that the assassin exchange was all planned by the Reaper. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not at liberty to say anything about my British counterpart. Anyway, the inspector accepted the Reaper's mission and dutifully infiltrated my cabin on the steamship. But it was all a trap designed to lead him to France. And his own death. Oh, how awful. It was past 9 o'clock when I returned to my cabin from the dining hall that evening. I didn't give him time to attack me. I choked him until he lost consciousness. There was a guard just outside the door, so I left it at that for the time being. Even the slightest noise might have aroused suspicion, so I bided my time, waiting. For the 20 minutes after 10 o'clock, I had intended to finish him by strangulation. But, moments before I had the chance, he suddenly came around and went for me in a reckless move. Bang! You know, I guess strangulation probably would have been the cleaner route. Since, you know, that wouldn't have left any evidence. I'd received the British-issued gun 16 years earlier, being a member of the judiciary as a visiting student. I never imagined I'd have to use it for something like that. So, the revolver belongs to you, does it? The victim was killed inside your cabin on the SS Grouse. Which begs the question of why you arranged for his body to be discovered in the room on Fresno Street. The young judicial assistant over there has already answered that question. There was no way I could take the body up on deck to throw it over the side. That's precisely where all the crewmen were gathered for the evacuation drill. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, couldn't you just put his body in the trunk, then just, I don't know, snuffed out and dumped it at some point? But yeah, if the crewmen were outside, then yeah, that was gonna arouse suspicion either way. So, before the first-class sentries returned, I took the corpse to the refrigeration room. And then, on arriving in Dover, you concealed the body in your trunk in order to smuggle it past the border police. I knew I needed to take steps, so the police were to be convinced when the body was found in London. In that case, you must have known. Oh, no. Okay, I didn't say that right. You must have had intimate details of Inspector Gregson's intended schedule. Yes. My British counterpart sent me everything I needed to know. The inspector was due at Fresno Street at 5 o'clock that afternoon. In order to meet a man by the name of Hugh Booth, from whom he would take back his police identification. I decided that man would be the perfect person to set up as the culprit. So I took a hackney carriage over there, the body still in my trunk. That must have been just after we took this photograph with you at the hotel then. Oh yeah, that, classic photographs. Yes. I wasn't expecting a welcoming committee. I was more than a little nervous. On Fresno Street, I spotted a young girl selling little firecrackers. Miss Venus, of course. I conceived of the candle trick there and then. So I donned a simple disguise and approached the girl to buy enough firecrackers to replicate a gunshot. What sort of disguise? For some reason, the inspector had a bright red hairpiece in his own traveling case. So I put that on. Although I suspect I drew more attention to myself in that than I would have otherwise. The hairpiece that we found at the scene, the inspector had it ready for the Red-Headed League investigation. Oh. So I guess it really was the inspector's, in a sense. I only arrived at the room at around 4:45, so I quickly placed the body on the floor, moved the notice board, and I set up my little candle trick. I arranged it that the firecrackers would go off with a bang around 15 minutes later. So that Mr. Boone, who was due to arrive at 5, would walk straight into a trap. Except, at the last moment, I made a careless blunder. What was that? I imagine it was a bag of fish and chips. I didn't notice that it had fallen out of his overcoat pocket when I moved the body to the refrigeration room. I put it back into his pocket the following morning, but, well, it seems the warmth of the heated cabin had accelerated the decay of the fish. Anyway, that's everything. All the sordid details of what I did. And who would have thought that fish and chips would have been a, key moment in, or, a key piece of evidence. Oh, Jesus. Let me check the time real quick. I mean, it feels like a pretty good place to wrap things up for the time being, but, at the same time, I can go a little longer, I guess. We'll see what happens. I've heard enough. We've arrived at the truth about the murder of one of the country's most capable and respected police inspectors. The witness will be tried in the coming days. For a crime of such a vile nature, you would expect the most severe penalty. Oof. An exchange of assassins? What a foolhardy idea. I mean, yeah, kind of. Mr. Jigoko, one last detail. Who was your counterpart in Britain? Who was the mastermind behind the assassin exchange? Nothing you say now can make matters any worse for you. Just tell us. Enough! I've already told you that I cannot say. Even though, as things stand, you may very well never set foot in your homeland again. What are you waiting for? Can't we get this over with now? It's finished. All of it. I'm finished. Oh, he's standing up. Then, in the name of Her Majesty, the Queen, I now pronounce the findings of this court. This man before us has admitted to the willful murder of Tobias Gregson. Wait. Wait, but Goku's not the one on trial? I thought normally we, Van Zeke, we should be calling Van Zeke's innocent, shouldn't we? Shishiro Jigoko, it is the opinion of this court that you should be found guilty. Well, what about Barack? And may I remind all those present of the strict confidentiality demanded by this closed court. Okay, that was a weird way of doing things, to be honest. Moments ago, Mr. Jigoko signed a written confession admitting to the murder of Inspector Gregson and the subsequent conveyance of the body. In short, the defendant's innocence has therefore been established beyond doubt. Okay, yeah, now we're getting to the part of Barack, because Barack's still technically on trial here, so I don't know if we can call him guilty just yet. Oh, wonderful! Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, thank you? Is something wrong? I'm just a little troubled by his silence. The true identity of the Reaper of the Bailey and this extraordinary assassin exchange. We do remain in the dark about these mysteries. However, insofar as the indictment brought against the defendant in this trial, we have reached a conclusion. Oh god, now I gotta do the Van Zyke's voice again. I have every intention of pursuing both mysteries. As a prosecutor. As you wish. Now, for the formal adjudication. I hereby declare the defendant, Barack Van Zeeks.
Objection!
Oh, Jesus Christ. Man, I had a feeling Cosmo was gonna still be wanting to start shit. Nice. The prosecution calls for adjudication to be deferred. Counsel? The accused's innocence hasn't been fully established at all. Bruh, we literally proved physically that he could not have did the murder. What are you talking about, you Cosmo, you fucking pleb? and therefore it would be wrong to deliver a verdict at this time. That is the prosecution's unwavering position. What? But Judge Goku has already confessed. Nevertheless, you can't just say nevertheless to that shit, my guy. Brock Van Zieks has committed crimes for which he must be punished. Well, it would appear you have information that the court needs to hear, Prosecutor Asogi. Certainly, the murder of Inspector Gregson was actually carried out by Shishiro Jigoko, but it's clear from the witness's testimony that he was coerced into complying with the plot. Into this sick, merciless assassin exchange. That may be true, but... So what I want to know is, who coerced Jigoko? Who was pulling the strings? Gah. The victim went to France, having been ordered on a mission for the Reaper, only to be murdered. In other words, the mastermind behind the assassin exchange is someone in a position to give such an order. As we've already established, the Reaper himself. Okay, but how is Barack, who is yes, he's a prosecutor, and he's a high-ranking prosecutor, I believe, but I don't think he can just give orders to other people in other countries like that. Come on, pal. Let's really think about this logically, Kazuma. Well, certainly, that would appear to follow. The prosecution hereby formally accuses the man in the dock, Brock Van Zieks, of being the Reaper of the Bailey. And furthermore, I'm going to prove his guilt beyond all reasonable doubt. Wah! Wah! You're such a fucking tool, Kazuma. I mean, I love you and we're friends and all that, but my god, you need to get over your fucking hate boner for fucking Van Zieks. Yeesh. Order! 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 The Reaper of the Bailey is a long-standing mystery, Counsel. Are you suggesting you have some new information with which to build a case? Okay. Point one, like I said, Kazuma needs to get over his hate boner. Point two, even if he's right about this, that's separate from the fucking... I mean, Barack is on trial right now for the murder of Tobias Gregson, and we've already proven that he didn't murder Tobias Gregson. So, at the very least, we can get Barack found innocent of this crime and then do another trial. I don't think you can just start a whole ass other trial to accuse him of something else. Now, technically, I know he's saying, oh, he orchestrated the murder of Gregson by being the puppet master or whatever, but still, it's a separate matter. Come on. Scotland Yard has already investigated Lord Van Zieks very thoroughly in that regard, and they found no evidence whatsoever to substantiate the claim that he is the Reaper. Perhaps, but circumstances have now changed. What do you mean? It's already been established that the assassin exchange was negotiated with Jigoko by the Reaper himself, which means we now have a new line of questioning by which to identify definitively the man's identity. That is the prosecution's intention here. I must say, I'm surprised by quite how tenaciously you appear to want to besmirch my name. Yeah, how dare you besmirch Mr. Van Zieks? I mean, you can call him a racist, you can call him a dickhead, but calling him the Reaper, I don't know, that's one besmirchment too far, if you ask me. Frankly, I don't know. I'm not, at this point, I'm not sure if Kazuma can even be, would be trusted to handle this case, given the fucking, conflict of interest here, and how much he clearly hates Brock's guts. You are guilty of an unforgivable crime, Lord Van Zieks. And I will bring you to justice for it, whatever it takes. That explains Kazuma's silence before. He'll stop at nothing to finish what Lord Van Zieks unwittingly started 10 years ago. Well, damn, I guess we'll just let Cosmo go off on his old, like, fucking hate fantasy. You know, I can't do anything to stop it, even though I'm literally, like, Lord Chief Super Justice God of the court. Very well. Whilst it's extremely irregular, I will, on this occasion, grant the prosecution further opportunity for witness testimony. The defendant will disclose any and all involvement he has had with the Reaper and the assassination exchange. I thank you, my lord, for guiding the court so wisely. Oh no, he's doing that big pose again. I hereby declare this court to be in session for a supplementary hearing. Okay, yeah, I guess we're just doing the trial again now. Honestly, if I was Fan Zeeks, I'd probably do that as well, because, frankly, this is all a bit silly. Pray turn a blind eye to the discourtesy as I verify that this vile and unremitting accusation hasn't soured the contents of my hallowed chalice. Well, that's good at least. At least your hallowed chalice is still holding up strong. Even though I wonder who's giving you the fucking, like, bruise when you're, like, on trial for murder. Like, who's handing those to you, pal? Lord Van Zeeks! I first had to suffer the pseudonym of the Reaper 10 years ago now. And ever since that time, I've endured the weight of implied guilt that's gone with it. So I welcome the chance to testify now and crush those allegations once and for all. Huh, good. Then let justice decide, Lord Van Zeeks. The prosecution seeks to begin building its case by calling the accused to the stand as the primary witness, in order that he may answer the accusation brought by the prosecution that he is the Reaper of the Bailey. And what says the defense? Putting the defendant in the witness stand can be extremely dangerous, and Kazuma-sama is so emotional at the moment. He's not thinking logically. Yeah, obviously. You're right that he's not himself, but I knew that it would be like this, and I came here today determined to face him through whatever might arise, as a lawyer and as his friend. And that's what we must do. The defense has no objection, my lord. Very well. Defendant, you will take the witness stand and give formal testimony on the subject of your involvement with the Reaper and the assassin exchange. As you wish, my lord. Oh boy, more testimony. The Reaper and the assassination exchange. I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill. I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson. Therefore, there's no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassin exchange. I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, I don't think Brock has anything to do with the Reaper personally. So it's kind of weird that we're going to cross-examine him and inevitably prove something that he's, like, not entirely right about, which is only going to make him look worse. But oh well, I guess we're just going to ride this pony until we get to the station. So you deny all accusations by the prosecution, both that you are the Reaper of the Bailey and that you masterminded the assassin exchange. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. I don't think you can do one without the other. I acknowledge that the public at large believe me to be the Reaper. However, that's a fallacy which I alone am in a position to forswear. Naturally, the prosecution believes the testimony just given by the accused to be untrue. Rinosuke Naruhodo. Yes? Let me ask you, why are you here? What really brings you to this courtroom? I'm here to defend my client. A desire to uncover the truth. Oh, well. Okay, that's also true, I guess. Even if the truth proves your client to be guilty. From all my experiences in this courtroom, I've come to realize something. The truth can't be hidden. Sooner or later, it will come out. So it's always my intention to work with my client in pursuit of the truth. I want you to remember what you just said. Enough dilatory chatter. Counsel for the defense, proceed to cross-examine the witness. Yes, my lord. I know exactly what you're thinking, Cosima. I know you're just waiting to point it out. The contradiction you're convinced lies somewhere within this man's testimony. Again, it's kind of a weird position because, like, I don't think Barack is lying about anything in particular. Because I don't think he's the Reaper, but... I mean, we're going to figure out something, alright? But anyway, now the episode's definitely running a little long, so I'm going to have to wrap things up for the time being. So, yeah. I guess as one door opens, or one door closes, another one begins. As now we're on Cosima's wild ride. But at least we proved that Jigoku did in fact kill Gregson, and he went Super Saiyan and fucking... Not only did he destroy the fucking witness... Wait. Where the fuck... Okay. Excusez-moi. Where did they get another witness stand? Like, fucking Jigoku completely obliterated the other one just a minute ago. So, like... Where did they get that the replacement in such short notice? Like, he didn't just break it. He, like, completely fucking obliterated it and sent it flying. Like, they just have a spare one? Like, come on, pal. Okay, well, that aside, gonna wrap things up for now. In the next episode, we will cross-examine Van Zeeks and figure out where the, well, I guess we're gonna do like Rinosuke says, and pursue the truth. For better or for worse. But until then, I'll see you around.